Everyone's heard of Gary Bettman within hockey circles. Hockey fans might not necessarily like him, but you might like another guy he's been fighting with, sort of. His name is Richard Blumenthal. He's a senator from Connecticut who has wrote a letter and has been combative at times towards Gary Bettman, the NHL commissioner, when it comes to his issues regarding CTE. He feels the NHL, and the Commissioner Bettman in particular, has kind of had his head buried in the sand and will not address this, keeping his players in the dark, so to speak. What do you make of these comments that you hear from Richard Blumenthal? And maybe is he, I guess, I won't say is he right, but how about I ask you guys this question? Kind of like, what happened with the NFL and their issues with CTE. And how they kind of denied it, and it didn't really help out their cause, and it became like that nagging thing that's kind of been that cloud over, I guess, Roger Goodell, the commissioner in the NFL. Do you see something similar with Gary Bettman in this case? And we'll start with you, Jamie.
Well, it's kind of a dicey subject because obviously they're kind of in a lawsuit right now, or what is that even right now? They're in court basically with some of the players over this CTE and stuff like that. So I think coming from Gary Bettman, I think he's scared that if he goes out and says that, there's a possibility that this is really happening, I think they're worried about the money that the NHL is going to lose. Is that the right thing? Absolutely not. In my opinion, I think if I was one of the commissioners, I'd want to be putting money towards it because it only looks good on your part to do preemptive stuff. I don't think it's the full answer. I think having preventative measures to stop concussions in the first place, because I haven't done a whole lot of reading on this, but as far as the stuff I have read about is the only way that they can diagnose that is after you're already dead.
You're dead, yes.
You're dead. So at that point, it's too late. So I think it's probably better to put preventative measures, maybe fines. I don't know. I don't know the answer, but stop it before it happens, in my opinion.
But you got to think that this is going to be a troublesome issue for quite some time for Bettman.
Oh, it's going to be. Excuse me. These commissioners are just protecting their sports. There's no two ways about it. Gary Bettman, he's protecting the NHL. Should he be putting money towards this? For sure. There's no two ways about it. You can look back to the guys that have died, or they say that have died from symptoms of the CTE. Derek Bugard is a friend of mine. John Morasti, one of my best friends. He's growing up fighting in the NHL, KHL, EHL. They say he has symptoms of it. These guys go to work doing this. This is their jobs. They're going to keep getting concussions from doing it. Or should you take fighting out of hockey? I don't think so. That's how they're making their money. Should you change the game? They've changed the game by taking clutch and grabbing out of the game. So they're preventing. They aren't preventing concussions. They're speeding the game up. There's more concussions nowadays than there were 10 years ago when there was clutching and grabbing. They're speeding the game up. Gary Bettman has changed the game enough that he is increasing the concussions of the game. So he should be putting more money into it and taking more money off of his wages, my opinion. That's if you want my honest opinion. The senator of the U.S., he has a valid point, but Gary Bettman's protecting his NHL.
Just mum's the word in their case.
Exactly.
Moving on to the Toronto Blue Jays, they've decided to go with a 6-man rotation. Aaron Sanchez will be given opportunities to start, much to maybe the delight somewhat to Jays fans. I know that's been a lot of the criticism towards a guy who's pretty much a Cy Young nominee coming out of the AL, and you're going to throw him in the bullpen after the year he's having. But now they've come up to a compromise. It's interesting enough because Roy Halladay was there for some celebrations over the weekend, and he said, you know what, maybe it's a good way to kind of save those arms, knowing that you have all those bodies. But as a pitcher himself, it sucks because you want to be starting every 5th day, not every 6th day. You get out of a groove, it's an issue. BJ, what do you make of this?
I think you're waiting longer, just like you said. You're in a groove, and now you're out of that groove. So, to me, I haven't played baseball, so I don't know what it'd be like pitching. But if you relay it to a hockey player, or even racing chuck wagon horse, they get into a routine, and you're in that routine to pitch every fourth game or every fourth day, or race every fourth day. Well, that's what they're going out there to do. So they're in that routine, and now that pitcher's not there, so he's going to be thrown off. They probably aren't going to perform as well. So it's the same as playoffs. You look at the Blue Jays in the playoffs last year, the semi, what is it, the national final?
The championship series.
Series.
In the AL.
And in the AL, they didn't perform to where they should have. I didn't think, but was it because they switched the rotation up? I would guess so.
Do you think it's a good idea?
Well, once I said, like BJ said, I'm not a hockey coach or anything like that, and haven't pitched baseball. But me as a wagon driver, there's two double sides to it. Like BJ said, they get the routine. Maybe if you have a bad day, you got to wait that much longer to get back into the rotation, and hopefully get out of that funk that you're already in. And that's a hard thing to do, because I find when you have bad days, it's better to just get back out there and try to fix what's going on. But I guess, if you got enough pitchers, quality pitchers, that you can do that and successfully do that, you're saving them for the long stretch. Because the baseball season, they play a pile of games now, like way more than they used to. So if they can roll that through, maybe towards the end of the season, if they lose one or two pitchers, their other pitchers that they got going now are a little bit fresher, and maybe it's going to pay off in the long run. I mean, I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out in the long run if it does pay off.
We'll see. Right now they have a lead currently in the AL East. Will that change? We'll see what happens in September. All right, guys, we're going to take a commercial break and return with Over Under next.